Hey there, I'm Brian Conway from achievesuccess.co.uk and this is 4-Minute Friday. This week I want to talk to sales managers only. When I say sales managers, I mean sales directors or company owners, whoever manages the sales team as opposed to the salespeople themselves. So if you're a salesperson, unfortunately this week I do not have a tip or strategy or tactic for you. I want to talk to the boss. So you can go and get on with your sales activity, and sales managers, please listen up. This week I want to talk about some of the behaviours I'm starting to see across sales management teams that is actually impacting the performance of their company, their ability to sell as an organisation, and obviously the success and their ability to hit target. Now for some of you this may not be relevant. Please obviously listen. Maybe you might pick up something or it might reinforce something, but I want to talk about some trends that I'm seeing, because if this does impact you, you've got to nip it in the bud and you've got to work on it and fix this problem. And the problem is that sales managers seem to have forgotten that part of that job title is management, and that is management of the sales people, the team themselves. And a big part of that isn't just about the number. Everybody seems to be getting focused on the number and the forecast and all that sort of stuff. Whereas you need to spend more time focusing on the behaviours of your salespeople. I'm seeing some shocking sales behaviour in more and more companies that I'm actually engaging with. And the reason for that is because more and more people are coming into sales without any sales training or any sales development once they're in an organisation. And this is your fault. You've got to take ownership of the development of your salespeople. One of the things I will do quite often when I first engage with a client, or while we're even evaluating the potential to work with somebody, is I will come in and observe their sales team and work, just walk the sales floor for a while, perhaps sit and listen in on some calls if they have that option, but just generally take in what's going on. And you'll be surprised the lack of energy I see, the lack of some fundamental sales capabilities, really poor questioning techniques, people not closing, objection handling really bad, and all this sort of stuff. So I'll sit down with the sales manager and make some recommendations, and I start getting this pushback. So I might say, for example, they've got the sales floor really quiet. Why is nobody on the phones? Oh, they prefer to email. All right, seeing this a lot. They're hiding behind email. I talked about this the other week actually, but you've got to hit the phone. So I say, right, well, we've got to get them hitting the phones more. They've got to start putting in some more call time. Oh, they won't want to do that. What do you mean they won't want to do that? It's not that up to them. They have a role. You define the job role and you manage that role. It's not up to them what they do or don't want to do. I might offer them to come in and do some fundamental sales training. I said, right, we need to get some fundamental sales training done here. Their questioning's really bad, their listening's atrocious, they're not note-taking effectively, they're not summarising, they're not paraphrasing, they're not closing, they're not objecting. And I might list all the things that they're not doing particularly well. And again, I get pushback from sales managers saying, oh, they won't want to do the fundamentals. Some of these guys have been in sales for a few years now, they won't want to do the basics. I don't care what they want to do, they're not doing it, so they've got to learn it. So it's not up to them. If they're not doing it, they're worse than basic. So even though they think they're better than they are, and part of the problem because of, people are having some success, and therefore because some success works, they don't think that they could be significantly better. But as sales managers, you need to take responsibility for this. What was another example recently? Oh yeah, I said, right, well, let's do it. So I'll come in and do a 2-day training. We'll really push them through a bit of a boot camp because there's 2 or 3 things that I know will make a massive difference. Oh, 2 days. I don't think they'll want to do 2 days off the road or off, away from selling. What do you mean they don't want to do 2 days? This is an investment. You decide if they're going to do 2 days. 2 days out now could save you thousands of days going forward. They don't want to do 2 days. I said, okay, well, let's do some online learning. Let's do some self-study. I've got a program, Serious Selling. Many of you will know it. And there's an online version of that which you can self-study. It's about an hour a week of self-study. That's all. Okay, and I said, let them do that, and then we'll do a monthly webinar as well for about an hour. Oh, they won't want to do 10 minutes a day, which means they won't want to do a webinar. Couldn't you just come in and do a day for? No. Do you want some behavioural change? Do you want to increase your numbers? Take ownership of this. I'm getting more pushback now from sales managers defending their salespeople who don't want to do stuff, and they're afraid of upsetting them or even losing them. And I understand that. A lot of people have said to me, yeah, but if so-and-so leaves, they're our best-selling salesperson. They're probably creating the culture within your organization that is limiting its ability to really flourish. And sometimes getting rid of those laggards, sometimes, or people who've been around too long in your company, constraining its capability, getting rid of them is something you should do. So the point of this video, and why I want to talk to you as sales managers in particular, is because recently I said to somebody, man, you need to grow a pair here, and I know that's a bit of a sexist expression, but think about it just as a metaphor, okay? Don't think about sexual connotation. But I said to this guy, God, man, you need to grow a pair. And I realized at that point that actually he's not alone, that there are lots of sales managers out there, some of you watching this video, that need to look at yourself, look at your team. Are you 100% happy with everything that they are doing? Are you 100% happy with their performance, their sales behaviors, and more importantly, the output and the amount of sales that they're making? Or do you in your heart think, do you know, they could be significantly better? Maybe I need to take ownership and I need to drive change. And that is what I think a lot of you need to do. You need to person up, man up, but in a political sense, and drive some behavioral change and dictate to your salespeople what you know is the best practice of when it comes to selling. And you will start to see some results. And if people don't like it, they can either ship out or they can shape up. It's up to them, but you cannot afford to let the salespeople drive the behavior of the sales organization. That is your job because you are the sales manager. And if they're not a right fit for your business, as I said, get them out. There's a great book, what's it called? Good to Great by Jim Collins. And Jim Collins' first chapter of that book is about getting the right people on the bus. And some managers recognize that maybe they've got people within their business that aren't necessarily right for the business and could be causing more harm. So you've got to make some tough decisions. I understand that. You may not want to get rid of people. I understand that too. But if people are impacting the quality and performance of your sales team, you've got to step up. If that's the problem, it may not be. As I said, it may be that everybody just needs some training. And if they do, put them on training and make them do it. And more importantly, then reinforce it. Again, you as sales managers have got to take ownership post-training to drive that behavioral change, to qualify, are they actually applying it, testing them, asking them the questions that they should be, for the skills they should be applying to make sure that they are. You've got to own it. So that's it, a bit of a rant this week for sales managers, but again, my heart is in the place of service. I want you and your team to be successful. Call this tough love, whatever you want to call it, put name you want to put on it, but I am passionate about your performance and I want to help you, and therefore I've got to say it the way I see it. And many sales managers need to up their game. Stop blaming the salespeople, take ownership of the sales team and improve its performance. That's it for this week. Listen, have a great weekend. Please reflect on what we talked about this week and have start to create some real change in your sales team going forward for the better. All right, my name's Brian Conway. This has been 4 Minute Friday, thereabouts, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.